Hey guys, welcome back to FIFA 23 Brighton Career Mode. And first thing off I want to address is, of course, by the time I'm recording this video, it was on Sunday. Actually, it's on a Monday, October 10th, and we all received news that Enoch Weibu has to be forced to retire because of a heart condition. And I totally feel for him, and I really hope that everything's gonna be fine for him. It sucked, to be honest. And the fact that he is in my career mode, and I don't know what I should do, with him. Should I be playing, still be playing or using him in this career mode? I really don't know, but I really do hope that he is going to feel better. You know what? I really do. I want to wish him the best of luck in the future, because it's honestly, he's 24-year-old from Zambia. I think he was just about to enter his prime of his career, and such a great player for the club as well in real life. And I just certainly have a lot of sympathy for him and his family. But in terms of what we're gonna do with him in the career mode, I really don't know. And even though right now we are pretty much talking about the end of season, this is the last episode of season 1, and I'm already a few episodes up already, so which means I play a few more on the side. So I'm about to make the videos for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow as well. So yeah, it is a very tough situation, I think, in this case, because the time when I'm playing that, I think when I'm playing, or right now, I'm in September now, so I can't really do a lot of things, but certainly it's something that I will further consider it for the future. So going back to the gameplay right here, yeah, against we play against Everton, losing it unfortunately pretty much in the last minute. And looking at the contracts, a lot of players' contracts are about to come to an end. Of course, the number one player that came in across my mind in that category, it's Levi Colwill. It's funny enough how in the early episodes I thought about securing him for a a permanent transfer, but just kind of falling out of favor. He made a few mistakes, and it's not quite in the end. Well, the mistakes that he made, I know we can't really judge a player because of a simple mistake, but he is left-footed, awesome, because right now our main three center backs, Faltman, Webster, and also Luis Dung, none of them are left-footed as well. So which is going to be a little bit tough. We have to sign a left-footed, a much better left-footed center back at one point. So we're going to address that in the next episode, but this is more of an end of season. We come to an end right here. We're still sitting at 10th at this moment. So right now what we have to do is pretty much try to win as many games as possible. Mathematically, we are still in the race for the for the European Cup right here. Any European Cup, even Conference League, it's possible. When you look at the score right there, we are pretty much 5 points away from Everton. But losing to Everton in that game was pretty much sums it all up. And at the same time, it quite determines that we are not going to go for any European competition, and it's totally fine. Again, this is essentially the first season with Brighton, and of course, I did quite a lot of personnel changes during the January transfer window. Well, it feels like the January transfer window certainly helped us in a very long run. I felt like our record is certainly so much better compared to the first half of the season. Who remembers we lost pretty much all the games in September, including the Carabao Cup games. And right now, yes, I did lower the difficulty a slightly bit, and at the same time right here I actually did change the tactics in a slightly bit as well, because right now I always complain about how the back five, they're so far apart from each other at times where they just don't quite close the gap in between them. So I did a little bit of an adjustment in terms of the tactics, the instructions, where the back five, especially the three central defenders, try to tighten up a little bit, or even the back line has to close the gap slightly more, allowing them to attack from the outside instead of allowing them to penetrate through the middle, because it would be such a problem, such a disadvantage to work with if you keep allowing spaces in between. in between the defenders, and they just kind of run through you, even though you're already at 5 at the back, which is one more than a typical formation, like playing 4 at the back or something like that. And seems to get a little bit better. Offensively, I felt we are so much more fluid than before. Defensively, we weren't that prone to conceding goals. I mean, conceding goals is part of the game, it's part of the team as well. Again, our team is still very, very young at this point. We signed 2 of probably one of the brightest defenders, Francis and also Bella Kochap. Apparently, Bella Kochap, I thought he was in the club for like a couple of years. Turns out by the time I signed him, that was only his 6 months into being in Southampton as well. So surprised Southampton sell him. But honestly, in real life, it's not gonna happen when you just sign a player and you let them go in 6 months. The last time I remember that happens to Arsenal was, I think, back in 2007. I think it was Diarra, I believe so. He was in Arsenal and then he went to Chelsea in the January transfer window. I still remember that. I was like, oh, is he loan or something like that? He made a few impression to me. I was 9 years old back then, and it was absolutely bizarre to see somebody go within a year. And look at the table right here once again, one last time pretty much. And yeah, mathematically we're still in the race. But we need Arsenal, and also Arsenal and Everton have to draw point, which means they have to lose. They can't draw because our goal difference is quite great at this point. So of course, with the early seasons, early season record that we had, we conceded quite a lot of goals. I think in general we just can't really quite defend with the team that we have. But we're arriving to the last game right here. We need a win against Newcastle to at least have a shot in the European. But at the same time, if I'm not even in the European race or European competition, I'm not going to be fussed about it, because our team came a long way from the start of the season. And I don't know if there's a factor into it where I did not disable the transfer, allow other teams to strengthen the squad, while for us, we just kind of lay back and see how the transfer market goes without making any signings, which is kind of frustrating, to be honest. What I'm actually like seeing, it has a psychological effect on me, where people are strengthening the squad while I'm just looking at the squad not being improved what sort. But right now, finally, after 11 episodes, like 11 days. And we are pretty much arrived at the end of the season, and I can't wait for what's gonna be ahead of us in the next season, because again, we are definitely not gonna get a lot of money from the from the board, because we, again, no European competition, which means you don't have much revenue, you have a much tighter transfer budget. But I will go through that later on, but I will tell you guys how I think about it. But in the end, in this game, 1-1 was the final score, which means no European football in any sense. But hopefully we're still in that range of a mid-table, trying to fulfill the objective that we had, which is we have to finish mid-table. I don't know how you define it, like 11th, 12th, are they like mid-table? Probably they're mid-table, but I think our team came a long way. At one point, I thought we were gonna get sacked. I was gonna get sacked at one point because of the poor results, and finally, things are starting to get along. And the fact that Sesko, again, he seems to be, I seems to favor him compared to other players right now, compared to Undav. Again, I don't know about Undav, but Sesko definitely fits the profile that we have. In the end, we ended with this season 16 wins, 6 draws, and 16 losses, with a goal difference of -8, conceding 67 goals with 54 points. Honestly, that's very impressive, the way how we started. Again, we won quite a lot of games as well. And of course, looking at other team table, conceding 64, was it 61? I think we were like the third or fourth team that conceded more than any other teams. So defensively, still a lot to work on. But looking at the objective, we pretty much fulfilled everything. 87 was the final rating for the manager. And looking at the contract right here situation, apparently I don't know. Just no feelings towards them. None of them actually play good. I think Jason Steele played one game. Adam Lallana played one game as they came off as a substitute. But I'm happy that Lallana didn't say anything about it, you know. But those players, they're approximately 7 to 8 players are going to be gone as well. But looking at the youth report again, seems to be not having much luck recently with the number of incomings that we have. But right here, of course, we did call up Nicholas, our youth goalkeeper. Again, still very young as well, 61 rated. Right here, you guys can probably see that. But looking at the squad report, we have quite a lot of loan needs away from the club, which means we are, so for all the players that their contracts about to get expired, we are going to fill with players who's coming back from loan as well. And that is another operation that I want to, you know, it's time for an operation clean house. You know, there are way too many players in the squad right now that I don't know how, of course, those players are valuable assets to us, which means that eventually I might sell them for a much greater price, hopefully try to get more money in, at the same time trying to build a squad that I want, you know, still playing with the same formation as well. I was you know, tempted to change the whole formation based on how poor the results were at the beginning of the season. But right now, I'm kind of getting used to it. But at the same time, looking at the squad right here, a lot of players will be going in the next transfer window. I'm not going to say who, but certainly it is going to be a very interesting one because, again, I already recorded that, so some of them are going to be quite controversial. You guys might not be agreed, but we are going to bring you even more exciting players coming in. I'm not going to say who, to be honest, but we have arrived to the end of season 1, and I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in and watched the series. Again, it's only 11 episodes in, and I intend to do this for like 4 or 5 seasons. So hopefully in the next season we're gonna try to finish in a higher in the table, either having European football or not, but definitely must be better than sitting at 9th, or try to go further in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in a bit.